India yetimipe nanso nyansa de wona ndema wasam ya menase kania semi say ya no so wonche jumani dia mayarie nanso wa unshira ne onsem strawado India yetimipe nanso nyansa de wona ndema wasam ya menase kania semi say ya no so wonche jumani dia mario nanso wa unshira ne onsem Intimacy fresh anointing. I mean, dear, what comment? If you say my whole dear pim, we need dear pim. We do see in a sign, mommy, your door. If you say my whole dear pim, we need dear pim. We do see in a sign. Lord, I need your grace to carry me through. Oh yeah, I do. Me pass some more down. I don't need a dog.
Adom ni odo abusia na so ade a che na ye fiada ene eye boja ye awade nyankopon na wo shire obi ntumi ndoke wo na wo tumu so obi entumi mb adom wura anopai wo nchen na womba ya ba. The brand new wonderful good morning from the studio Osompa channel G on YouTube, Facebook, you are share poku. Na yanko like na yan share. Now the most important if I comment in front of am, na me permanent to me can't me for ma. O pancha ya me ko bebre. Fide na dia am dika aka kire mo. Yes we fo do so we ni na. Yes say ye to me eye enso. Ba ye den ayaba. Ya bande na nya aba ni say. Ya dia dom na da so etiase we free oje nche na de ba ye. Na ena Friday no, ena weekend. Adwuma bia me ba pontem weekend ya na watumi ahwe wo so eyi ensem bi e wo Ghana na asese ye ka na me kwa na quick one Omampani John Mahama here with all due of respect for your Ghana mampani ote akonwa ba 77 period no kure kan de ya de hu hia ye pa ya kwa yem se sabi o Ghana ye mampani fama bi ya na on kan no kure kakra His Excellency John Mahama brother papa sabe ya na no kure kan bi aye star de ama kakra na make sure the reason why Omampani Mahama sabe on kan no kure any mental celebrate ko sel metem no ndu betimi abo betimi fan sem ba ko meni ma so medini akwada nya menyansa for stay tuned medan mo ba ye bedi nkomo me ba sisia I need grace I don't need a na media kwa komeni Lord
for ye mo bibia la kwa baba transport abusua ku no mo eya na areho se obehu nipa bebre na yakoyisu enkumbi samena bi na ede eye enema bebre abegugu widie no ho sa wo hwe ya minsa benkum ha na mo a samena ye esia na mo yi eye transport shower gel bia wo yo bia okoyisu samena bi okoyisu nkumbi ama yale bia ide aba ne nso be ana se bibia bisisi widie no so me kanfo eye shower gel edi amount onipa biara otimi biara bibi aka wedie so onipa tuntum onipa kokko we chocolate color bibia bi si wedie no ho me kanfo eye shower gel edi amount iwo biara ne de ede e wo ho no mo ma wonsan de enka bi misraw enye no nko a ye wo eye de ekrami eye stretch mask obi beka sa papa stretch mask enu aduru ni ho no mo ne etie ne ye obi bi won ma ye friend osay etimi to osay de manipa that's the reason why and ye nua ma no mu bi no sabi yo stretch mask aye ne ho na mu nyina wa yusu aduru sa enko ente na awiakata ban yi awia ye bo hwe awia ye bo na so be hu na wa she long sleeve adentia because stretch mask asay widie ni nyina wa yusu aduru anya ne pe wa yusu aduru sa enko ye nua ma na mu bi ko awoso a enam nyinsa nti no mo so be wa wie na ne ye furu so nyina stretch mask aye ne ye furu so nyina eno obi awale egu because of yes stretch mass inti sabi oyi ne ho no ohwe eye ne sremu a ne sremu nyina asai na stretch mass inti wo se nipa we na me kanfo eye aduro ekita me eye stretch mass aduro we ede amount me number no na gu screen na aseno obi biela o se ma use stretch mass aduro bi ma use anko no wo se nipa we na me na wo kasa wo nso ye de yin hweye ye de wo nso hweye me number no 0244 494877 0244 494877 Ghana fana baby bia wo biala ye de bi bebreo obi biala ofa saa ye product bi bia ton biara enya mfaso bebre efise sa uton box baako a wo se enya mfaso another box baako enya no nko a ye de eya we de kura mi eye after wash say ena nkrofo bebre enso edi adanse o say papa say ye jai eya spray eyisu say ye yisu spray me say ye nto spray me adentia say usi niam na de kakra de eguma ti say de odi spray ai de egu atade mu enko me patwa de ase ma onsan de enkabo de ofra ba bia wo bia so pe eya shower gel ni bia wo de frɛ ope eya stretch mask so afrɛ ope eya after wash so aye de frɛ your product bebre de e wo ho no mo wo de ofra ye no bedi nkomo e benya ntobose achichema aye de ama number 0244 494877 eya Transport shower gel, Transport after wash, and a Transport stretch mask. Stretch mask, aje ni periana boso. Me can for stretch mask a dread amount. Me da say, namin count. Yo.
Yaba dunra no enchen ene eya anopa ewo efiada eda no mu dem di ka meka kire wo join me live on Facebook eya this year bapo YouTube your Osompa channel G Simple TV eya ma mo hwe wo fie no na yanka eja engu entumi enante enkoye badi ka ka kire wo man John Mahama straightforward papa na sabe wanka no kwe Ghana man pani obetena konwa isi ame na wo kaka because we are penny that's a normal be one as one who said obesi atoto na ya fa mamre no obo kwan so ka no kwa bi di kire wo anima say be no anya atam de we so mo pa mo fa IP address mfa trace me mfa Ghana man pani John Mahama 7 pedo as papa no kwa kana akaba bi kakra e de benti na make asem we quick one ye nyina be ka ya from last 4 years adiba man pani dada wanya sabe wa fura kunwa so menka ne saa Nana Danko Akufuado. Campaign time was started 2016 kra. And o kase se buano na se to abama no be man pani a obesi National Cathedral e de amon man Ghana. Ye nyina ye nim. Even last year 2024 campaign time before election. And this yaban and aban na otia konwa so campaign ye nim se mahodo ebri o kan ye. Hwe ye nyina organize sika $58 million. Ya say man paninda da Kufuado di besi National Cathedral Ghana ha ye nyina ya sorry dina ya nan so ye kansem bebre yensem trafo edi makotene na munim asem e ba na free say Mahama betena konwa so ansem trafo bi ni mo ye din because of sabe sika bi ni mo majeje any because of said ye mo fa so ye campaign Mahama betena konwa so ti muntimi nka no ye nyina dia ni ye hwa mo Mampani Mahama na otia konwa so yi during campaign time o kan asem bi say National Cathedral na abanda da no pese wosi no sabe na ye sika seye na ye sika seye enti sika na etabi to $58 million no ye nim se mu odu abanya na otia konwa so lady demonstration ahodo Catching say, ye two amna na ekotu as foundation na the National Cathedral no. Ye nyina ye hu said ye na esitie. yesi yantumi ansi na yehu obi sika no so wo yetu amena mansuo ekogu amena no mu ama yekoburu amena no sabe yede ye swimming pool Sam George and the lady demonstration yekototo mu koburu nsuo no yehu nkofo bebre asamba na mampani Mahama anka mo se mo anka sase beto da musuban ne mo ne ye bi na kire yen se mo pe akonwa no adia ana mo kasa se le sabe mo dwene Ghana ho ba se mo fra akonwa no ase mo fra bandwa no wi a na sabe mo ye de mo pe mo ba fra akonwa no wi a na mo ye de mo pe hwe asem bia ba beto ho for almost 2 to 3 months ni Ghana nsem twofo bebre na almost 90% ayi de mo nka ho asem the entire make us a Ghana man penny or Tiakonya so His Excellency John Mahama seven pedia so a faba be a quine bisono, papa no on cano cray and say. And some more catch the time of war position, especially last year 2024. Our Befra Konyan in Sama Oke Cano, Sabiana mi refimi one, I say, papa no, minim, so on Kai say. Only I can't send this last year, the Kodia minim dear. Ayana minim. And someone one kasaka ye opposition time. National Cathedral hon abusuya mobe kaisa mampani Mahama epa timbi Deloitte for said Deloitte for yan hwehwemu because owo opposition no and someone ansem tro for ye ka say mampani dada wo fra konwa so $58 million etu amana just a whole amana keke enti yan hwehwem Abusha mumien kwete John Mahama asem na okan mumien kwete quick lamento aso abusha kwete asem nbra ye ba ye bedi nkomo yentie Mahama mbra.
Commitment to good governance and accountability is tackling corruption and eliminating waste. I promise to initiate inquiries and forensic audits into several critical matters of public interest. This war against corruption continues unabated. The Minister for Health is reviewing the Auditor General's report on the COVID-19 expenditures. After the review, the appropriate actions will be taken. The Sputnik V scandal is under investigation. The Minister for Finance has launched an inquiry into the collapse of indigenous banks and financial institutions. And make no mistakes, facts will be unearthed, culprits will be punished, and lessons will be learned. The Minister for Energy and Green Transition has commenced investigations into the PDS scandal. Deloitte and Touche is conducting an independent audit of the National Cathedral project. I expect their report by the end of this month. A number of officials have been invited and questioned concerning the 13th African Games. On April 30th, 2025, the Attorney General filed 11 charges against a former National Signals Bureau Director General and others for various offenses. Charges will also be filed in the Accra SkyTrain and the National Service Ghost Name scandals. The Office of the Presidential Advisor on Corruption will continue to receive complaints and reports regarding graft for onward transmission to the Attorney General, building on the success of the oral mechanism, which received over 2,000 complaints in just a few weeks. As promised, my commitment to fighting corruption is not limited to recovering loot from past appointees. We will also ensure that our own appointees serve Ghanaians responsibly and are held to the highest standards of accountability. Commitment to good governance and accountability is tackling corruption and eliminating waste. I promise to initiate inquiries and forensic audits into several critical matters of public interest. This war against corruption continues unabated. The Minister for Health is reviewing the Auditor General's report on the COVID-19 expenditures. After the review, the appropriate actions will be taken. The Sputnik V scandal.
Abusia Maun. And His Excellency John Mahama yakɔhwɛ no no. Mo hu nsɛm ana kan sɛm we nyina yɛ opposition time o. And some of papa we kan nyina yɛ the time no opposition. Me say asɛm we ba yɛ no hwɛ ye de no mo bia be kata so a ma obi antumi anka besi nne Ghana man pani we betena akonwa so Mahama betena akonwa so yi ena oyi Deloitte for so omu ye nhwehwemu concern the National Cathedral. Now Deloitte for nhwehwemu omo ba ye say $58 million na ye kan ho asem sabe edi man pani da Akufo na aban atem kasa ye di bibia gu ni so no Deloitte for nhwehwemu omo ba ye say $58 million no sikanda so da ho yamfa ye nsanka Akufo na ba yamfa ye nsanka sika na emom architecture no draw plan no any the omutu manhole no na say foundation no omu na yi scan bi tu omuka mampani Mahama na nkasa no mutu no kan enti the time cathedral sense bi ba ya etu amuna Sam George lead demonstration nkofo kototom kodware ya say swimming pool dim aban that day ya tem kan sem bebre mo ba ya Deloitte for hwehwe mo mo de ba ya up to now obi antumi anka ho asem ewi achire mampani Mahama no tie akonwa so yo condemn National Cathedral then last year backwards no Mahama ba akonwa so say ene National Cathedral na sikanda so da honko ade a ono so besa to aso asi na emom no mpodie on sini cathedral sa so dan se be kuma kwa ya asori o sini as a cultural center abusamu ti asem ni yo de ntia make catch us mampani Mahama tie akonwa so sebe mpleduasa e fa ba bi no papai yenim no yenim papai some years back ebesi 2017 yenim no ene mampani Mahama tie akonwa so yi e ka kire en say National Cathedral no ono wabai obesi ni fofo ne mom onsi ni say asori dan po o si na as a cultural center. Meanwhile papa we ba akonwa so Mahama betena akonwa so yi wasi ultra modern churches a e wo Ghana ha ya to instrument asan gum e wo Ghana ha. Meanwhile mampani Mahama ba e wasi ultra modern churches across northern region our to instrument well equipped instrument e dey gum dey amomo na ye bisa say the same National Cathedral there na enya no mampani Mahama condemn ye way back no e ba ne san e na obehu safe sika no wo ho ye nye ne hwe na no de nsem trefo na sabe omu bia omanum ehenham ye chinchim ye kansem den time no up to now there obi aye de obi antimi nka ho asem na mampani Mahama na otia konwa so na nkasa o ka kire yen say oman no sebe ye hia no ma bebre oman ye kwa crisis im oman ye ho kire nti ye hia cathedral ti wabana nyame de no sika no wo ho ade be nti ana we Christian a so kwa Assemblies of God na umpo de cathedral mponya no mpo na obesi amane mo wodi kosi cultural center ade be nti ya de bia me ka asem bi kire say politicians on omo de ye na adwen e di agro omo di yen adwen e di agro asemo e ba on say afre Sam George aye di omo ne ho ntumi nkan bi why di won ntumi nkan bi ma wunsem trofo na last year anyway back no mo ka cathedral sem abranche e fe ne Ralph ni Samija mfini na hodo obi e ntumi anka ho hwe afa se Mahama betena konwa so obi e ntumi anka hwe because me tram say aban o tia konwa so or tempa de mienu one is the democracy baako democracy aban na tempa two wasa tempa judicial system I been see that fiti JJ Rollins abreso besi na de NC da mampani Mahama amanasi mampani Mahama atumi abɔ ne ho modern amanasi. Now another thing na munim say Ghana mampani asan ya ama meme say ka se papa no sebe ye fan bi so anka no kra ne say ye nyina beka ya year back 2019 ana ya wie bi beto share yen so e wo Ghana health say COVID-19 ebi friend coronavirus ebi friend COVID-19 ebi kwa the pandemic ni hwan so no problem. Yawe ba ye COVID-19 beto share ye so wo Ghana ha abusua se na ye gina na ye ka asem ya ment na fie nka se obi ye propaganda wa ha o aya ment na fie nka se be obi ye propaganda Me de bia metina machine bia chia na say metina meti machine me ye adwuma asema me kan say obi dia ba ye kan andi sana na so dia ba ye beka say di obi dia ba ye kan no sana ne won so dia aba ye beka ya we COVID-19 ya bet9 wo hwa US Italy Russia Spain fo nyina ebre ye whole UK for to the sense omo reserves or now omo dia to ho UK buying almost 100 years the reserve this is the second time more than sako kan ye shall man to say UK omo reserve for omo de to ho for so many years and omo for omo nsa entimi nko kan 16 billion pounds because of the COVID-19 UK for the omo sako kan ya buy ya US enipa 20,000 enipa 2 million enipa hodo ewu ya Ghana nyame adom na odo yankopon wo ma ye nti sabe yetimi soso anu abesi nne way back mampani ene wakwa homegie mampani akufuado etimi soso anu kakra de ma ye no President Mahama na otia konwa so na bind the same people esa condemn e kansema hodo aka kire yen se COVID-19 bia ni ho na abaya na otia konwa so no sabe o sam futuro edi agu yani na ya wie bia no e ba wiase e ba Ghana na e fense COVID-19 President Mahama na ka asem no me ya say hwe aka video sambe bo a kire wanne no Ghana man pani otia konwa so President John Mahama ene bia na no mu to no say COVID-19 ya wie bia no e ba ye so na bi bisa say enti baby o share nose mask ene ne yire lordina ene ne ma eko Ghana police hospital eko wo vaccine at that time na je no mo person mo kire oza mi ka to de bia politicians omo di yen adwen di agro we citizen we babru na what Ghana na wo betumi afasa mobile phone we na wo beton mobile phone na betumi aye we na be ya wa de President Mahama no ka kire yen say COVID-19 bia ni ho ya we bia no e be friend say COVID na ba nda de dada yen say le be ya obenya esika eliali o man Ghana mu ha no yet ya demonstration hodo koso COVID levy ahodo a ba ye sika aman ahodo de support ye ni nyina ye tikrom ha ye hu ene hwe ye magana mampani a ota konwa so John Mahama ye man akwanya ene na nsa kopie mu UN for akache conference a ye no every year annually onya akwanya kokopie o ka kire ye ka kire nse Ghana president amayampani fo bebre ene ko hia obi e kokasai mampani nya akwanya so no so enko kasa obushia Ghana mampani a no the end time of war position a o ka COVID-19 asema COVID bia ni ho no ene okopie mu UN no yenko tell the same president the same person eko kan ye me wi a obeti da me kana se
particular, I close quotations. 30 years later, we African leaders are still making the same simple request for a permanent seat on the Security Council with the power of straightforward seems provocative or unsettling. Perhaps it's because you are viewing it through the lens of centuries of filters, colonialism and imperialism, and the resulting implicit bias. Maybe you are unaware of the resilience of African nations or their remarkable ability to make a strong comeback just when you think it's safe to count them out. That is what is happening right now in my own country, Ghana. Our constitution limits leaders to 2 4-year terms. In January, I was sworn in for a second term, which, let me point out, was non-consecutive with my first term. Our currency, the Ghana cedi, was rapidly depreciating, faced with rising inflation, a huge debt burden, and low morale amongst our citizens. My new administration settled down quickly and embarked on an ambitious program of comprehensive transformation designed to restructure Ghana's economic foundation and enhance our competitive standing globally. We refer to this process of recalibration as our reset agenda. In just 8 months, we have achieved significant reduction in inflation from 23.8% in December 2024 to 11.5% in August 2025, restoring price stability for our citizens. Additionally, our currency, the Ghana cedi, has appreciated considerably against other currencies, with Bloomberg reporting it as the best performing currency in the world at one point. Our improved sovereign credit rating reflects increasing investor confidence in our economy, and our 24-hour economy initiative promises to transform our economy. And there's a renewed willingness amongst our people to trust that their elected officials have Ghana's interests at heart and that we're progressing together. Madam President, I believe that in honor of this milestone celebration, the United Nations should also embark on a process of serious recalibration and establish its own reset agenda. Since the organization's founding, the number of UN member nations has nearly quadrupled. And quite frankly, it is not the same world that it was back then when the UN was formed. I mentioned earlier that I began my second non-consecutive term as president this past January. My first term ended in January 2017. In that span of time, 8 years, the world has changed with such ferocity. My first days in office after my return felt as though I had just awakened from a Rip Van Winkle-style sleep. Now, no, that was only after 8 years. Imagine then what it will be like after 80 years since the founding of the United Nations. In 1945, the sun had not yet set on the largest empire in history. The most common mode of international travel was by sea. The personal computer had not been invented, let alone made portable. And television, a new convenience, was still in its infancy, albeit in Black Soviet Union were turning frosty, with Winston Churchill declaring that an iron curtain has descended across the European continent. Fast track 80 years on. In today's world, hundreds of thousands of commercial flights take off and land every day. Libraries have been digitized so that volumes of literature can exist on a small device, small enough to fit inside your pocket. We live in a world of cryptocurrency, artificial intelligence, social media, the internet and its dark hidden dungeon of the dark web, all of which carry a potential threat to global peace and security. Climate change is real, and we're fighting a losing battle against the loss of Maldives and other island nations to the rising sea level, against the loss of Timbuktu to desertification and the Amazon forest to global warming and deforestation. Madam President, the UN Founding Charter is outdated when it comes to representation in this August Assembly. The most powerful post-World War II nations are still being rewarded with an almost totalitarian guardianship over the rest of the world. And yet, the first sentence in Chapter 2, Article 1 of the UN Charter declares that the organization is based on the principle of sovereign equality of all its members. If this were true, and was the case, a continent as large as Africa, with its numerous UN member states, would have at least one permanent seat on the Security Council. Furthermore, we believe that veto power should not be restricted to only 5 nations, nor should it be absolute. There must be a mechanism in this House for the General Assembly to challenge a veto. No single nation should be able to exercise an absolute veto to serve its own interests in a dispute. In 1995, during the 50th anniversary of the United Nations, Nelson Mandela stood in this very spot, and he said, the United Nations has to reassess its role, redefine its profile, and reshape its structures. It should truly reflect the diversity of our universe and ensure equity among the nations in the exercise of power within the system.
Abusia, enti say yahu. Ghana man penny na ekwate ne nka no. Abro ko pie mu wo UN for akache. Ensem akokan eno no. Ene Ghana man penny e pa kire yen say COVID-19 e ba ye na abeto hye yen so na ono man penny ni ka kire yen say COVID bia amba na emom yawe bia ni ho a ebeto hye so bia ti sampo. Ne mum aban dada na ofiri akonwa so no na na epe kwan bi so agi esika edi. Ene ono be furu akonwa no obetina akonwa so no a sabe okopie ho a onya asembia enka no afei ena President Mahama be ka kire ense okoka che UN for say COVID na ba ye since 2019 no currently ene edaso hayen COVID na beto so yen so no afei dia COVID no aba be hayen economy no eno nti na ene ye gusu kwade ekomi sa fe de mati ase abusuan se ma mati ase now me pese yen san ko hwe ne biem the time of opposition said they no si kasa efa COVID no ho ene nsem o kan yen ko hwe ne mra
ye ba omo chi omo Galamsey no omo atu omumu ye be ma omo amnesty no omo asaba Before the pandemic, poverty reduction was already a major challenge. The pandemic is estimated to have dragged data from the Economic Commission of Africa, ECA, shows that COVID-19 created the continent's worst recession in 50 years, with real GDP shrinking by 3% averagely by 3% in 2020. Before the pandemic, poverty reduction was already a major challenge. The pandemic is estimated to have dragged about 55 million more people into poverty in Africa and exposed another 46 million more to the risk of hunger and malnourishment. Indeed, 70% of hunger in Africa, which had already been on the rise since 2014, is directly attributable to this pandemic. Like governments all over the world, it became necessary for African governments to take action to shield their populations from the effects of the epidemic. In my country, Ghana, our economy has emerged in extremely poor shape from the COVID experience. A ballooning deficit, double-digit inflation, a nosediving currency, increasing debt distress are some of the symptoms of a very ill economy. This has devastated many African economies and sunk them deeper into unsustainable debt and economic downturn. The pandemic has had a generally deleterious effect on the economy of African nations, the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, and one, find new ways to bring value chains inside Africa's borders, and two, change the mindset of dependence on external parties. Data from the Economic Commission of Africa, ECA, shows that COVID-19 created the continent's worst recession in 50 years, with real GDP shrinking by 3% averagely by 3% in 2020. Before the pandemic, poverty reduction was already a major challenge. The pandemic is estimated to have dragged
Abushasa ya nkase ekotiebi. Sawote. President Mahama ana no gina na okasa no. You see, say na say ka politicians na asema. Obi tinchen a sabi because of say MPP adidi na adwen, sabi because of say NDC adidi na adwen ti. O kasa about Ghana ya na sabi obi nhu obi nti ase. And someone is my who do be President Mahama wo opposition a waka ne normal wa ye. No befu akonwa no said ya nipakro ya papa pani said ya papa yi esen ka nsem ane as president na busua enye obi na eka onye obi na chechira asem de ato ne su o enye obi ena chechira asem bi ede ato ne so ene oya president the time ana owo opposition na okasa ka covid atem eka your friend say national cathedral sensem no sabe na papa we nim say ene eba bedu sei na wonim say eba bedu sei na so obi kwaka say sabio NDC de ma yei ana de mu yei matwa nto na mo de aba power obi nti ase so obi kwaka say ebi a matwa nto na mo de aba power obi enti ase but yanhwe de mampani John Mahama sabi oyei ene said de nsem kanya esi ekoi wan kasa wutifia rate papa no wan kasa wutifia no rate papa no atumi de amaye yes ye koye ni man sa na ewiase we de yesi umuna gye ya de mawo na wosere nso gye a ya de mawo mawie obi ya waye asema metumi aka no pa ya no simple enti susufa o tutu profomwe said ye besi bia ya o man Ghana mu ha adin sakra wo homotia yankasa ye be hu said ye besi akọ enti gogu it's all about my Ghana obi ya waye Osompa in the morning enti susufa o tibie no pa ebia and I did ever some YouTube near Osompa channel G na Facebook near this year bapo I was no be no time John Mahama as a president no time nemo ye na de kokromuti ato aba ayi na kwakodu sabe yebu oman yebu political party sabe yebu oman sabe yembu abusuya obinya bi achia yenso ye ho kwan say yetumi eka awani so politicians ne sebe o mwanga sa o kwan o mo fa so a etika me expose you o mo na yenso yetumi ade ahu o so o man Ghana ebe ye yi wa fo mi na me so me ye ma fo mi ba be sorry Dr. Mahmoud Baumia eka assembly Onyamire President Mahama penifo mienu because of political power enti kasa omo ese for some sorry mo me enkotie Dr. Mahmoud Baumia some o ka che President Mahama na hiwia yento aso ne advance
from 2022 COVID impacts no ebaye no Ukraine war and COVID ema niema bo ekosoro 2024 election mo nyina mo kai say na ye ka say abdia esi no na niema bo ekosoro Ghana ha nyina eye COVID na ebaye ema nipa niema bo ekosoro any Russia Ukraine war yeka saade no omampanyi Mahama ne NDC omoka say ye twantro omo say COVID insan nimu at all enya sa no mukaye omo say economic mismanagement enya sa no mukaye say COVID enye a factor me say me kan say I think nra ena omampanyi echo New York ena omo okoka say Africa nyina niema bo echo soro because of COVID semot mwati o say COVID ninti ena niema bo echo soro o say a lot of your effort ye reduce poverty over 10 years or 20 years COVID no edi sa effort ni nyina aba form in just 2 years sa no kind enti sa onim sa but wanka election no enye sa onim ne korɛ no ba wanka yɛn yɛhu problem no ɔmo ehu problem no enti nyame adom obiara bɛhu baby a ne korɛ no da enti 2028 yɛn sesan yɛ adwen yɛmfa ɛma Dr. Bawa
Mamote me share about video ma o se be ya utifi a bete wo ho ase enya me na directly me de ma President Mahama sesebe on kan okre enya me na me de ma no ensem we nyina yo no ankasa ne opponent ni tipen ena no ka asem we because of ensem bi odi kan e kan ye nti Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia use word bi o kan asem bi aboti ko chika krab mam na boho mame sa asem no use you sa word no use you ma President Mahama no eho emu odu yie pa mumi ensan ko tie Bawumia ewo ho ensan pambra tie niye
onim ne korɛ no ba wanka yen yehu problem no omo ehu 2 years sa no kan enti asa onim sa but wanka election no enye sa onim ne korɛ no ba wanka yen yehu problem no omo ehu problem no enti nyame adom obiara bɛhu
abusuati asem na okan aye no word na me pena na waka no ose enti onim no korɛ no but wanka eye pani kasa mawie Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia na kacha President Mahama say onim no korɛ no nanso wanka indirectly dey no person waka kire no mawie
onipa mo ansu yare gitwe
mawie
nansu yati kwa muri
si utifia say we NDC we MPP ni enya me na directly me kacha President Mahama say sabe on kan no korɛ Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia na oka abusia Osompa in the morning Osompa in the morning when you go so awo
reality bia
mapon
ekuni mashansu dianso
mapon nyame adom amande e besan hia
enti onyame be
ni akwade nyame nyansa fo nyame nshiro bibia makra bye bye
if you say obira ko enti fa yesu yonku fa kwa shayo wansa no be you kosua